All right, yo, it's CRZ on the Flex channel. I'm here at Lil Squeaky. We're doing the Flex Gang 3 Deconstructed.
Yeah, you already know. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm here because out of all the people in Flex, I was kind of the most I was definitely the most involved in Volume 3. I kind of started up the process of like getting the songs to get submitted. I was just very involved in a lot of
yeah,
the creation of individual songs. Some I was on, some I wasn't on. So I thought I'd talk about the whole creative process, answer some of CRZ's questions because he said he's got a lot of questions.
yeah. The first question I was thinking of, what song took the longest, like, to produce, like the instrumental for?
Oh, for like, oh me, let me think. I mean, the obvious answer is probably Covered in Blood, but like instrumental wise, it wasn't that bad. I could kind of, if I want to run down every song I did like individually, then when I talk about like making Covered in Blood instrumental wise, it wasn't that long for me to do it
Yeah,
because or with Ivan on it, we kind of had our own little bit to do with it. Uh, Instrumental wise, honestly, for the ones I produced, it might be Shrek Need Lambo.
oh yeah, that
Uh,
one.
because I just kind of had to go off of my memory. There was no loop involved. There was no like tutorial involved. I just had to make something that I mean, I'll probably explain it a little bit when I like just give a rundown of the songs I was involved in.
Yeah,
I feel like in general, I could give like an overview of what exactly we did to get this out. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
feel like that would be suitable right now before we get into like any more questions. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
yeah. So, uh, a background on Volume 3 is and some people I know most people on the label probably know, except for some of the newer people,
hmm,
but for like fans and whatnot, they might not know this. There was a planned project in summer of last year called Flex Gang Volume 2.5,
oh yeah, I remember that.
and that was back when everyone was still dick riding Volume 2 and saying it was like amazing.
Oh yeah,
Um, and Volume 2.5 was the whole. I think it was an idea drafted up by Lil Toyota and Young Garfield, neither of whom are even in Flex anymore.
yeah, that's
So that
true.
just goes to show how much the idea kind of died.
Yeah,
The people behind it aren't even here anymore. The people who are here, who made it, aren't even here anymore, and they don't even make like music anymore. So
yeah,
um, shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the whole point of it was to just like get Flex to be more of a community. It seemed good on paper because like no one really socialized. People weren't really calling at all unless I was there. In general,
true.
everyone was just kind of in their own individual bubbles, and they wanted to get everyone to come together.
Hmm.
And I got that appeal, but the thing is, it was very horribly executed.
Yeah,
On paper, it seemed really good. On practice, though, we just couldn't make it happen. We spun a wheel on some website,
yeah,
and we made these random groups of three of people in Flex, and it seemed to work nicely at first, but then there were a number of issues that came up. First of all, people were leaving Flex.
yeah.
Second of
I
all,
remember
people
that.
were joining Flex, and I was saying, they shouldn't be included because like they came in after we spun the wheel. For the sake of simplicity, let's leave them off.
Yeah,
But there was this big conundrum about inclusion. They can't be discriminated. They can't be left out. So they just kind of got thrown into their own groups, and then people were saying, "Oh, that's unfair. It's not random. They're just getting thrown in their own groups." So a lot of people demanded a second spin. So I did a second spin, and then another issue came about, and it was that a lot of people didn't like their group members, so they just refused to do anything.
oh damn.
And so um it was just a big mess, and people were clamoring for a third spin, and that was when I just said volume 2.5 is dead. We just called it off.
Yeah,
And around the same time, I just went into the executive group chat. I don't know if I was an executive at the time, might have been an admin when those still were around, but I was up there, and
yeah,
I asked, can we start making volume 3, just very bluntly. And they
yeah,
were like, yeah, go ahead. So I opened up the channel, opened up submissions, and we got to work.
Oh
there was
yeah.
a bit of controversy around the intended time frame. The submissions were going to close on January 1st, and people were just very desperately begging for an extension. I
Yeah.
remember we opened up this poll. I opened up a poll in the polls channel in the Discord server asking if there should be an extension. And I actually think the vast majority of people said there shouldn't, but Young Garfield came in and made it extended anyways. At the time,
Oh damn.
I didn't feel good about it, but I feel like it had more good than bad. I think it had still some bad outcomes, but I think it was a good choice overall because the vast majority of submissions, the vast majority of songs that made it onto the album were submitted within that last month.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we had like 60 submissions total. We went from like 20 at the beginning of February, no, at the beginning of January, to like 60 at the end
Oh yeah, I
of
remember. A
January. It
lot
was
of submissions
ridiculous.
came.
There was a lot of controversy. That's why we had to do Flex Fridays, so that um
Yeah.
yeah, so I felt like I was fine with the idea of just having the songs be cut and leaving them off. That's what we did with Volume 3, but Mosquito I think did it less so. I don't even think he did the Flex Friday stuff because he didn't want people to be left off. He just wanted a way to build up hype.
Yeah.
Flex Fridays, it seemed like a cool concept. I don't think anyone actually listened to those though. But Volume 3 kind of ended up being a runaway success.
Yeah.
I think it's most people's favorite. If you know me, you know that I still think Volume 1 is the unquestionable best one.
Yeah.
Volume 1 is easily my favorite, but I can see why Volume 3 is liked by so many people. And yeah, might as well just dive into some of the songs I was involved in, all of them. So obviously we have the opener, which I was a co-lead artist on with Lil Mosquito Disease, Flex On Flex Off.
Yeah.
I went up to him in a DM in like late December, I think, or early January. It was sometime in the winter. I asked him if we should just do a song together because I actually had two submissions in the works that were different from my two actual submissions with me as the lead artist. The
Yeah.
first one was a drill song called Catch Up.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And the second one was a Lil Pump sounding song called Checks Over Stripes that never came to fruition because Lil Kraken never did anything.
Oh.
And I think Mosquito was supposed to be on it. He didn't do anything, but I decided to call the song off because I didn't really like it. And then I went ahead and just asked Mosquito if you want to just do a song together. And so I was in. At the time, I was listening to a lot of him. I was listening a lot to a couple songs from Young Jeezy. One of them was called All There, featuring Bankroll Fresh, where they kind of alternate verses over this like very hard, like medieval sounding instrumental. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because that's basically what I did.
Yeah, it does. It remind me of
this,
like
yeah.
some kind of Chief Keef type thing, like old Chief Keef.
Yeah. I got this like orchestral loop from a cymatics pack, and I threw in I made a bell melody and a bell counter melody, like some bell one shot I had. I think it was the same one I used on What Do You Mean, and
Oh yeah.
I just put that to work. I layered them together, threw on some. I made some trap drums, and there was a lot of tweaking to the instrumental to make I made the treble come out more various times. I made the bass come out more various times. I think it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah.
And I threw in some tape stop sound effects, which I've been using a lot lately. And as for I don't know, like vocals and stuff, I actually recorded the one that's on the actual released album is my second take of everything.
Wow.
There's a version of the song where I have every single line is a different vocal take than the one that's on the actual release. I don't remember why. I just wanted to re-record it all. I think it was kind of late the first time I recorded, so I was being kind of quiet.
Oh yeah.
But Mosquito's vocals were always the same, and we had to he wanted to write the song together so that we knew when to alternate, and I was kind of in charge of telling him who's going when, and he just kept on. I kept on putting it off. He kept on DMing me like every day. Yo, you want to write the song now? Yo, you want to write the song now? You want to write the song now? Eventually, I decided, yeah, let's write the song, and we just kind of threw in a bunch of random ass references. The lyrics don't make any sense, but I think that's part of the magic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we made a bunch of like inside jokes and flex references.
Yeah.
I think that song in particular is a big part of why Brad Taste Music infamously said this album is unintentionally cryptic.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, and that's kind of how Flex is. You know, we've had various releases like Lambo Season, arguably the most cryptic of them all,
Yeah, that has a lot
because
of
it's just
references.
completely, you know, relying on inside jokes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we have what was the next one I worked on? Captain Out of Tune 3. That song. I was a freestyled verse. I had my mic gain all the way up
Yeah.
without even knowing. I was just yelling whatever the hell came to mind. My dad was gonna ask me to eat, but he said that he didn't come into my room because I was rapping too aggressively, and so I just kind of sent him that. I think I threw auto tune on it, and then I told him to throw auto tune on top of the 2 auto tunes I put on, and I think it's the best verse on the song by far. But take it or leave it. I've heard people say, various people had the best performance on that song.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back and forth in a lot of people's opinion on like Lil Flexer. No, not Lil Flexer. White Fury and Beetle Bat tend to come up a lot as like the best
Yeah.
one on that. Nah, it's Lil Squeaky. Easily. All right, then Shrek Need Lambo.
Oh yeah.
I produced it. I think I made V back in October or November. I sent it to Lambo. I was like Mario Judah type beat. It was whenever his cover of Die Very Rough was blowing up.
Oh yeah.
So I decided he should capitalize on it and make his own original Mario Judah type song. So I made a Mario Judah type beat. Actually, no, I didn't make it. I started making it.
Yeah.
The song, the beat in the song is unfinished.
Oh
And
yeah.
it is very short. I just sent him like a minute long snippet, and because I was just gonna like loop it more, throw in some like tape stops or something, but I didn't end up doing that. I just made that amount of the beat, and then I went to work.
Yeah.
I had to go to work, and then I never finished it. He just ended up using it, and then he
Oh,
threw
yeah.
in some 808s at the end for the
Oh,
outro.
yeah.
Worked out a lot better than expected. I went through a number of different drum kits looking for like tribal sounding perks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I ended up coming together with some that sounded kind of Mario Judah-ish. I think for the synths it was pretty much all Electra X,
Oh yeah.
and I threw in some hard 808s, and I used Fruity Stereo Shaper, just made them really wide. She was crazy.
Oh yeah.
And what's next? I don't think I did anything else up until Covered in Blood. That's the one that everyone wants to hear me talk about, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
That song, it's got some history. So a while back in like September or October, I'm guessing, I wanted to make some like, it might even be going back to like August.
Wow.
I wanted to make some like synth pop synthwave shit.
Yeah.
And so I was watching these tutorials. They were all hard to follow. I followed a Praxi Plays tutorial pretty closely. I even found like the same like sounds and ESTs that he was using. I got my hands on them, and it was almost a 1-to-1 replica with some slight differences. And it was slower than the Covered in Blood instrumental, and the drums go like double time on the hook. Sounds kind of like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Then at that
Yeah.
point, I was originally gonna use it for my own song, but I never ended up using it. And so fast forward, I think January this year, and I see Ivan came back into the label and was starting to get some relevancy again. So I was thinking, I wanted to branch out a little bit outside of just the hip hop bubble and more into like rock territory.
Yeah.
And so I decided who better to work with than the one dedicated rock artist in Flex. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, I want to make a song. We get on volume 3. Originally, he kind of took, I didn't say anything about volume 3. He kind of took it as like, we can just, he wanted me to just like do this like spoken interlude on his album. But I kept being like, nah, I'm gonna I want us to like actually make a song together. So like we kept having some back and forth going on,
Yeah.
and he initially came to me with this musical idea, this like song idea. We were gonna make this like very upbeat kind of 80s sounding Cure type song
Oh
in
yeah.
style of the Cure, and the drums were gonna I think kind of go similar to like a Genesis song. And so I said it was cool. I could consider it, but I also sent him over two different instrumentals that I had done that were kind of in a more rocky lane, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, the first one was actually the instrumental I ended up using on Alexandria, and the second one
Oh damn.
was the synthwave instrumental. And he was very much more into the synthwave one. He really liked it, and he wanted to make a synthwave track. So he wanted me to send him the stems. I exported all the patterns and like the drums and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I just sent them to him. He wanted to do some stuff with it, so he sped up the song. He threw in some guitars. He
Oh yeah.
switched up the drums in the second half, and
Oh yeah.
shit went crazy. And he came with like a lyrical idea, song idea. Said it was gonna basically be just like semi murder like ballad song where one guy where he's like a police officer who kills a dude, and then I'm like a poor, maybe like homeless bystander who sees it happen. And so
Oh shit.
we went ahead and used that. He was like, he was saying that like he's gonna be like the cop, and then I my verse say that like I saw him do it, and now I'm like chasing him down, and he was like, you can be like on the chorus, be like, I saw his face covered in blood. So I said, fuck it, I'm interpolating the monkeys on this shit. So I went in and started writing some stuff up. Did a surprising amount of vocal takes. It was hard to do.
Yeah.
I found that especially with like singing vocal takes, if you don't like how it turns out, if you're like listening back and you don't like how it turns out, you gotta wait till the next day at least, with fresh ears and a fresh voice.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I liked what I came up with. It initially just started as the first verse and the first chorus, and so I followed this like Phil Collins. It's like Phil Collins inspired, In the Air Tonight inspired vocal mixing tutorials for these 80s vocals effects with like a chorus, like a slapback delay. Um, and also kind of followed my like tried and true um type of vocal mixing. The
Yeah.
way I usually like do EQ, sound getizer, and all that shit, like compression. Followed all of my usual stuff, incorporated with that tutorial was saying, and I sent him over what I had done so far. So he went ahead, did a second verse, and
Yeah.
like I think it might have, yeah. He went into the second verse and an outro, and he brought back in my hook from
Yeah.
the beginning. So I went ahead and recorded some like outro vocals of my own, backing vocals and stuff, so we could have like interplay going on the bridge.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it turned out pretty nicely. It was a bitch to master though.
Yeah.
I had to do all this, like there's so much going on, so like I don't usually spend that much time mixing mastering anything, but I had to spend a lot of time doing this. It took a good while, several days, several sessions
Yeah.
of me trying to make sure the vocals weren't too squashed, making sure the vocals were a good volume over the beat, which is something I struggle with,
Yeah.
but I think I've gotten better at recently. And just trying to get the volume right. The original files that I was exporting were like really quiet,
Yeah.
so I had to just like export those, then open up a new FL Studio project, and then drag up the volume, and then see if that helps. I also played around with EQ. Over the second half of his instrumental, I threw in a kick and an extra snare towards the ending,
Oh yeah.
and I had to make sure those worked nicely. So overall, it was a difficult song to make, but I think it turned out great. I know it's your favorite song on
Oh
there.
yeah.
I know
That was an amazing
I
song.
know you're a big fan.
Yeah.
maybe saying you're a big fan might even be an understatement. I kind of blew you away, but other than that,
Yeah.
I think it was hard to get it on the album. Me and the executives, and I think Brad was there also.
Yeah.
We're going in like calls, listening to these songs, trying to talk about which songs should make it and should make it. I wasn't even there for much of it,
Oh damn.
but in general, a lot of people were initially opposed to the song making because they didn't think it was flex enough. They didn't think it was like consistent with the album. So I told them I think it should still be on there. We should bring it towards the end of the album as like this big switch up that catches everyone off guard.
Yeah.
Then throw in one or two more songs to ease them out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we ended up doing. In general, I also want to say I think I was a pretty key voice in getting some of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
There were a number of songs on this album that barely made it on, and I had to like argue my way into getting them on.
Yeah.
Like Glock and Uzi Reloaded was.
Oh yeah.
I don't think originally was gonna be on there. There weren't that many songs. Air Jordans 3 wasn't originally gonna be on there, I think, but
Oh yeah.
I talked with me and Mosquito were pushing for it to be on, so he just kind of threw it on. He picked track 16 because that was what the original Air Jordans was on
Oh yeah.
Volume 1. And what might be more interesting is how there were a number of songs that didn't make it on that I was kind of key in. For example, Patrol Remix by Beetlebat was initially going to be on the album.
Oh,
and
shit.
I was at first the only person saying it shouldn't be. But like the more times I explained why I didn't want it on there, the more times I said it wouldn't. I wasn't a big fan of having it on, even though the song was good. I didn't want it on.
Yeah.
The more inclined the others were to leave it off. I also very vehemently fought to get, what was it? Staring at the Sunset on the album,
Oh yeah.
and to a lesser extent Nerd Muncher, but neither one made it on.
Oh shit.
And also, I think originally, for whatever reason, all 3 Lil Krog songs were gonna be on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
one.
I kind of had to make my case as to why we should only have one, and we ended up settling on Tribute to the Best Rapper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's virtually all I have to say as far as my involvement in the album. Number of different tracks. I kind of had to argue my case into getting those songs on.
Yeah.
Or getting some of them not on. But ultimately, I think the end result of this album was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Still bigger on Volume 1. And I
Yeah.
feel like, as far, I'll just quickly give my opinions on what I think about the album. I mean, it's a good album.
Yeah.
Very good album. I will say, sometimes it does kind of feel, I don't know if this was intentional, but I feel like it's at least kind of being positioned as trying to redeem ourselves for Volume 2.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I feel like it should be its own entity.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I know that we preach all this diversity and stuff, but I feel like the smaller roster and more consistent vision that the artist had in Volume 1, basically everyone was just kind of messing around.
Yeah.
I think that's why Volume 1 is easily the best, in my opinion. Everyone knew exactly what they were doing, and they didn't have to do a lot to achieve it.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's virtually all I have to say about Volume 3. You can go ahead and ask me questions now.
All right. So I had a question. It was about Shrekney Lambo. So how different do you think it would be if you actually finished the beat and like?
It would be longer. I'm not sure if that would be a good or bad thing.
Mhm.
I think it might even have been a worse thing because
Yeah.
Lambo would have to drag out the song, extend it bars wise.
Yeah.
That's the closest song to actual rapping from him
That's true.
that I've heard in a while. But it all kind of lies on how well he would have been able to carry it on. I think it would have been better in a way because I dropped the 808s in the beat for a couple bars, and I was expecting that. I was initially planning on having that be the one time I do it, like in the first verse, like the beginning of the first verse starts or something.
Yeah.
And the 808s drop out, and then they come back in for the rest of the song. But nah, that's not how it happened. It's just kind of like a third of the time that he's rapping on it. There's no 808s, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah,
Still would be a banger though.
that's true. Uh, Now I want to ask you, how did the selection process go for like what songs got on each Flex Friday?
Oh, that was just me. I just picked songs
Oh,
arbitrarily and kind of threw them on. The only the only okay, as far as like length goes, I was thinking they should originally be I thought there was gonna be four and that volume 3 was gonna come out on the 12th, but then Mosquito announced it and kind of committed to the 5th. So
oh
we
yeah,
had to make them longer. And so I just kind of arbitrarily chose songs, random submissions that most of which I hadn't even heard, and put them onto them. I made them gradually get longer.
yeah,
And then there were some songs that I just didn't happen to pick
yeah.
that are gonna go on the definitive collection whenever Mosquito decides he wants to drop it.
Oh yeah. All right. So, I think of another question.
You have anything like specific in mind right now or not?
Well, I was gonna ask a question on like the amount of songs. Like, do you think that 20? Well, obviously we know 24 is a good amount because that's the final product. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Do you think that like I don't know which Flex volume do you think uses its length the best? Because they're all like 20 plus
Oh,
songs.
volume 1 easily.
Volume one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can see that because like the songs are like there's not really a long song on volume one, but like
Yeah, facts. I will say I don't think length is a huge issue on volume 3.
yeah, that's
It
true.
is the longest one, but I do think it uses the length better than even volume 2.
Yeah.
Which is shorter. I will say because the songs are just better. I will
Yeah.
say though, uh, this album doesn't use its length as well as volume 1 in my opinion, simply because volume 1 is a more consistent album,
Yeah.
which therein kind of makes me inclined to feel that it uses its time better. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And considering how time and length and runtime was kind of a big controversy with this even before it came out because there were like 60 submissions,
Yeah.
of course it was gonna be difficult
Yeah.
to make the runtime feel perfect.
Hmm. Yeah. Like I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like a longer runtime is good for various artists because like it's kind of more engaging to sit for like an hour and something when like there's a bunch of different artists, not just like one artist. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's
I get
always
that.
changing like who you're listening to. So it's like you're listening to just a bunch of
Yeah,
songs from like yeah
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think it necessarily has to go that way. I mean, I get that a longer length can work for various artists,
yeah
assuming the one artist can't really have variation. At the same time, I feel like Flex Gang Volume One, even I think there is variation, obviously stylistically, but thematically, conceptually, it's very similar to one another. The songs flow extremely nicely. It's just a very warm, cozy, funny vibe the whole time. Whereas I feel like at a lot of points, Volume 3 feels too widely varied,
yeah
widely varying, and inconsistent for its own good.
yeah
And I feel like there are still songs on this album that could have been taken off,
yeah
and partially because I'm not fond of them, partially because I think some of the songs that are on there don't add a lot to the album. I know I got as far as like music takes go, I'm known for having some of the strangest and most widely disagreed ones. But
yeah
honestly, the couple songs on here that I don't like particularly much, like actually some of the songs I think that could have been taken off are songs that I wouldn't even call my least favorites. I
yeah
would have still left some of my least favorites on there, but I first of all I don't think Captain Out of Tune 3 should have been on there. I feel like it
yeah
should have been saved as a either a single or for Infection 2.
oh
You know
yeah
what I mean? I think he didn't even Mosquito didn't even come up with the settle on the idea that yes, I will make an infection too, until I said that bar
Oh damn.
and sent him the verse. And so, um, at the same time, I kind of feel like that song, the album could have done without that song. It's kind of just a big bump in the road as far as
Yeah.
the progression of the album goes. And there are also a number of other songs that I think the album just could have been overall better without like DTMS and tribute to the best rapper that really don't add a lot. And mumble rapper versus mumble rapper shouldn't have been on there either.
Yeah. Besides it going into big dollars, which is the but.
That was the entire defense that
Oh yeah.
the other executives had. And yeah, no one, if you see people's rankings, it's almost always at the bottom, like rankings of the tracks.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna ask. Well, actually, no. I know the answer. The hardest vocal production, the song that took the most vocal production was probably Covered in Blood. Yeah.
Covered in Blood.
Yeah.
Easily. Goddamn. Song was tough to make.
Yeah. In the end, though, it came out really good.
Yeah.
I don't know any more questions to ask because that's kind of all
I
mine.
don't know. Hey man, I still have some shit I'd like to say about this album.
Alright.
That kind of came to mind. As far as deconstructing it. Do I? I don't know if I do. Damn. I don't really have a ton else I gotta say. I think you see, I used to have this issue where I don't know how to summarize, but in recent times, I think I've gotten really too good at summarizing,
Yeah.
and so I can't really flesh out what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I could continue just talking about how I feel about the album.
Yeah.
I feel like that would make sense. I mean, I feel like. I mean, I do like the album. I've said this before. That being said, Volume 1, is more thematically consistent. I actually kind of had an idea of like what this album would have been like if we hadn't gotten the extension. And
Yeah.
simply put, it would have been shorter. Probably would have been lamer in a way. But we had these ideas that like there's some scrap songs. I could talk about scrap songs actually, like on my behalf. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, Catch Up. I don't know if you've heard it. If you want to listen to it,
No, I never listened.
It's basically a Lil Squeaky 504 song,
Oh damn.
and I thought it was kind of cool at first, but I wasn't really feeling it, and I would rather have had made other songs for it. So that's what I did. Checks Over Stripes is the other song I was gonna submit, and it didn't really pan out either. I wasn't really feeling it. There were some good bars on there, but I wasn't really feeling it ultimately. I think while I was making it, it just kind of didn't feel right. And then hearing it after, it didn't feel right. The beat I made for it was good though. I should like find a use for it, maybe give it to someone.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe give it to MCIC. I'm executive producing his album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was going to be numerous very long posse cuts besides Captain Out of 2 and 3. Originally, Lil Toyota's big Fortnite song was gonna be on there, and I think it took Mosquito a lot of courage. It was very hard for him to say it shouldn't be on there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know. People were very hesitant. The executives were very hesitant to take it off, but
Yeah.
we ended up taking it off. And then we're supposed to make Outboy Stalking 2, but but it was another case of people kind of just buying into hype. They were like, "Oh, cool, I want to be on that," and then they just kind of forgot about it. So
I forgot.
I mean, I forgot about it even.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
I legit forgot about that.
And then I came in and I was like, "Please make the song," and then everyone was like, "No." So Outboy Stalking 2 never happened.
Damn.
So yeah, it would have been also there we wouldn't have had any Flex Fridays. We would have had songs, for example, like Uncle Rick came through with 3 different submissions.
Oh yeah.
Romania is Sex would have been on there.
Oh shit, yeah.
And I don't know what happened in that song, but it ended up on a Flex Fridays project. I think it was unsubmitted, but we still put it on the Flex Fridays project because I think the other song Voda submitted wasn't as good.
Yeah.
So I was staring at the sunset would have been on there if there was no need to take things off. I feel like it probably would have been taken off anyways because I was the only one defending it.
Yeah.
Patrol remix would have been on there, which I don't think it should have been on there at all, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be on there, and I'm glad it wasn't. I'm not saying the song is bad, pretty good song, but like just throwing on a remix of a Beetle Bat song that came out relatively recently just because you want Beetle Bat on there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea. If you're, and also like people are saying, that it should be on there because Beetle Bat didn't make a song and he needs to be on there. Young Ryan G didn't make a song and he's featured on that song for a little bit, so he needs to be on there.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not gonna put in the work, then you shouldn't be given the reward.
Yeah.
You know, if on the end of many months that you had, then there's no reason for you to just get shoehorned in on the project.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, but I feel like it wouldn't have made any sense to put on there. There were songs that were that had already been released that we put on there, like Danny Savage Blocked Me. Personally, I was more into By Your Side for a Give People song.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they just kind of decided to. I think Mosquito just kind of decided to throw Danny Savage Blocked Me on Twitter onto the album.
Yeah.
Though it had been out, but you know, it was alright. I'm not crazy about that song. Like I said, I think By Your Side was a better Give People song.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm fine with it being on there. I know a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the track list again. I got reminded. I didn't want Tuna on there. Tuna is one of my least favorites. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It feels less like a song that you'd hear on a Flex Gang project and more like a song that I would hear while scrolling through related songs on SoundCloud in 2017.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel good, bro. It makes me feel weird. Listen to that song. It makes me feel yucky.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's not a vibe, bro. It's not a vibe. Kind of a different topic, still having to do with the album, obviously, but I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the reception of not just the album as a whole, but on certain songs. For one, I'm not surprised that people think it's the best one. Whenever a Flex Gang project has come out, everyone's been like, it's the best one.
Yeah.
Whenever, and I mean, especially with this one, I can see why people call it the best one. It's not like with Volume 2 where I think a lot of people had their opinion prescribed to them. But, they weren't being told to say it's the best one. I just think a lot of people legitimately think it's the best. But at the same time, the songs that some people like the most are just kind of slept on. Oh, yeah. And dislike. Oh, this reminded me. Perfect segue, bro. End of the Socks.
Oh yeah, End of the Socks.
Yeah. First of all, End of the Socks is my favorite song on Volume 3.
Really?
I'm sure. Yeah, it's easily my favorite song on Volume 3. It's not even close. And yeah, I was going through the track list like on Spotify, but the track list is kind of fucked up on Spotify.
Yeah.
And it doesn't credit me as a feature for some reason. But
in features.
At the end of, I do have the final verse. It was interesting. So originally, the beat that Submarine Man sent me for the song was it was just the one loop of like, it was just this one loop. You know, if you go to my verse, you'll hear some like trap drums and some rock drums in the background with like that sort of dark sounding loop.
Yeah.
Take out the drums and that was the end. There you had the entire End of the Socks beat. It was just that loop. So I decided to throw some trap drums on it, and for my verse, I threw in rock drums in the background.
Yeah.
And I threw in a number of different kinds of auto tune on my vocals, and made them sound as bad as possible, basically.
Yeah.
And I can give you the lyrics if you want. I can give you the lyrics.
The
Um,
lyrics.
yes. I'll recite the lyrics. Okay, it's Weezer and it's Wheezy. This ain't easy. I kill Feedy. Edie Schmeedy, yeah. You know submarine man danda. I am original blood clan danda da. Yeah. I'm with submarine man in Oceania. And you know that I say yeah. And I'm smoking on that coal, yeah. Yeah. Shout out little coal, yeah. You know I be dripping in that go yard. And I just got a fresh new car. Yeah, baby. Oh whoa. Yeah. I love that song. The beat switch is smooth as hell. And the fusion of the two garage band loops or
Yeah.
logic loops or whatever they are is beautiful. And then the trap drums come in, the rock drums come in, bro. It's a spectacle, bro. Easily my favorite song, but everyone hates it and is just kind of sleeping on it and ignoring it, and that kind of is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah, and then it is followed by Dope 2, which is
Dope too.
ironically a quote unquote remix of Dope that has two people that aren't even in Flex anymore and were executives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that reminds me, that was I think originally there were gonna be 5 Young Tega songs on this album,
Oh yeah. Remember that?
or 5 songs with Young Tega,
Yeah.
and I think okay originally it was so there's Cabin Out of Tune 3, Dope 2, and is he? It might have been 6, bro. I don't know.
Damn.
Dude, he's on so many goddamn songs.
That's true.
Okay. Oh, he's on me at 6. Cabin Out of Tune 3, Dope 2, Tavis, Tuna, and then there was going to be like some other song, and then I think he has a canceled song with Mosquito and Big Baller Beat that was supposed to be on it.
Oh damn.
It was strange. He was gonna have like a fourth of the album to himself,
Jeez.
and I don't know. It was kind of weird. Mosquito's all over this album too. I'm kind of all over it too. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Not in features as much, but even in features,
Yeah.
I still am on a lot. I don't like Flex on Flex Off that much, and I'm kind of disappointed that everyone seems to think it's one of the best songs. It's kind of just era, like early era 4, late era 3 kind of Flex people bait, as in we know it's the kind of song that everyone would like,
Yeah.
and that kind of went into making it. I know why fans like it, because Flex fans and Flex artists just are inclined to like songs that don't use the signature Flex humor
Yeah.
and are more structured, which I mean, to each their own. But like I feel like if I'm listening to a Flex Gang project, especially like a compilation album, I'm gonna be more into the songs that buck the trend of being structured.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted Nerd Muncher on the album, but it's exactly why Nerd Muncher didn't get on, because they wanted a cohesive Lil Pinecone song.
Oh damn.
I Summoned a Ghost was originally gonna be the opening track of the album.
Oh my god, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
But now it's just kind of a forgotten about song that most people don't like, which saddens me. I know people think I have a big bias for Dot Jitters because he's my brother, and they're right. But that's a great song.
Yeah, it's very
legitimately, it's just so unsettling.
yeah.
Abnormal. You can't help but like it, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't help fuck with that song. At least in my opinion. You know, Dot Jitter is one of the only people in Flex. You got people in Flex who just do generic meme rap over a video game sample beat where they're just like, I get a. But then you've got Dot Jitters using like a psych loop from like Looperman or some shit, and doing some like Jimi Hendrix type shit on it.
Yeah.
Ouija boards. Like you can't not tell me that Dot Jitters is. You can't tell me Dot Jitters isn't one of the most innovative and original artists in Flex. Like if you really go back into his discography, you'll see even like he always had an air of originality and charm to him. Even
Oh
when you go
yeah.
back to his trap stuff, like Energy.
Yeah.
He has the boom bap track, Elevated, bro. All his whole discography is bangers, but he always had his own kind of abnormal
Yeah.
style. And I Summon the Ghost is a good example of the newer Cedric produced style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed that more people don't like it. I am very impressed and pleased to see that no one likes the inclusion of mumble rapper versus mumble rapper.
Yeah.
I think people are giving too much praise to Skype. People are like, this is so incredible. Honestly, I've never really understood why people think Kid Fang's songs are so incredible. I mean, I think he has some good songs, but ultimately he's just underwhelming in my opinion. In a lot of cases, I don't think his new big song, $5 Footlong, is good. And I think Skype's a good song, but it's not that good. You know what I mean? It's not as great as people are making it out to be, saying it's like the best thing ever from this album, ever from Flexion. I mean, but that's just kind of Kid Fang, you know. As soon as he comes back, everyone's like, it's the return of the king, and then there's a lot of strange bias. I'm very, very disappointed to see that Big Baller B Stole My Girlfriend is possibly going to be the only thing Ivan is ever known for.
Yeah.
And speaking of Ivan, and also speaking of me, Covered in Blood, I have mixed feelings on the reception. I mean, I like how the song turned out, obviously.
Yeah.
But on one hand, I do like the fact that a lot of people think it's one of the best songs or the best song. On the other hand, it felt kind of weird. I felt good, but I also felt kind of weird about how people weren't saying it was this huge revolutionary song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of expected reaction to be similar to that of No Words, where everyone's like, "This is the best thing ever" from Flex. No, hands down, like everyone's. I know you said that, but I mean, everyone was saying it. That didn't happen, and I'm glad that it happened, but it did go against my expectations. So, that's why it feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing that's on my mind right now. Doesn't have as much to do with the album, but as you may know, there's kind of tradition emerging for Lil Squeaky, for me, where I drop the lead single to my album on the same day as the Flex Gang project, and then it goes under the radar because of Flex Gang.
Yeah.
And then the album comes out 3 weeks later, and that was deliberately done. I know people are like, bro, why Squeaky drop on the same day? He's gonna get overshadowed. That's the point. I dropped the lead single on the same day as something big like the Flex Gang album, and then the people, the real ones, the real Lil Squeaky fans who are willing to actually listen to one song and aren't just like, oh, Volume 3 came out, I can't listen to one song now. The people who actually went ahead and listened, you know, they're kind of in the VIP club. Then the album comes out and everyone listens, and then they find out what they were missing out on.
Yeah.
And yeah, the album is coming in a few days, and it's longer than Volume 1. I know we were talking about like length earlier. You were talking about how you know, compilation various artist projects work better when they're longer than like single artist projects.
Yeah.
It is a few minutes longer. It's like a 55-minute album, but there's a hell of a lot of variety on that album. I don't think anyone is going to be complaining about the album feeling stale or monotonous, because I really don't think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you're going to be doing a reaction to it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just try and find a balance between the chat.
The chat.
Reaction.
I'm only gonna chat when the song ends, like the last few seconds, and then like,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see not only how long it takes you to edit that, but also just to see people's reception to it in general. It's gonna be polarizing, but I live for the polarization. The lead single was polarizing. I mean, I kind of chose it. I basically did everything I could to be polarizing with it. I basically yanged because I knew it was gonna stir up at least some controversy, even like minuscule controversy. It was very much out of my lane, and I knew some people were gonna be conflicting on how to feel. Some people like it's one of his best songs. Other people are like Breather 2.
Yeah.
And then I dropped on the same day as the Flex Gang album because I just kind of felt like it.
Yeah.
That would not only because I felt like it, not only because the people who are willing to seek it out will seek it out and then get a taste of variety that's coming to them on the album, because there aren't any other songs on the album like that. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
And in general, I just kind of tried to give them a taste of the polarizing nature that the album's gonna have. And if they don't find it good, if they want something that is less polarizing, they could go listen to Volume 3 again. Because the most polarizing thing about it is the fact that I think Volume 1 is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just quickly ask you just to get some input from you about the songs you were involved in.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share how you made your different performances.
Okay, so obviously the first appearance I did that is on the final album was Air Jordans 3.
Mm-hmm.
In which I was trying to do like something. I was trying to do something like, well, obviously I was trying to do something like Can't Stop Partying with like the melodic. And like
saved your career.
Yeah.
Saved your career.
I mean, before that feature, I don't think anyone said, "Oh, dude, the CRZ verse was good," or like I don't know. After Can't Stop Partying, like switched it. But anyways, in Air Jordans 3, so I recorded. I don't know what I wrote. I think I took like a verse I wrote in like 2019 or something, because like I used to do a lot of anti-drug bars for some reason. So that's why the verse starts off like, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you banned me from the server for saying "Crooked Hillary for prison."
Bruh. So
I don't know if that was the reason. I think someone said it was. That does remind me. I can say about Air Jordans 3. There's kind of a mixing controversy because I did the original mix on it, and that didn't make it on the album. Mosquito, I don't know if he intentionally did it or if he accidentally did it. But the Young Lambo mix ended up going on to the final album. And
oh damn,
I remember I remember when we were listening to it the first time. As soon as your verse came in, Mosquito was like, "Bro, why the fuck are CRZ's vocals always panned?" Yo, like,
off the mic.
But here's the thing. I tried. I did it on I Can't Stop Partying, and I did it when I tried to mix that song. I try to fix the panning. If they're panned, they're usually like panned to the left, I think. So I pan the vocals rightward to get them centered.
Yeah.
And so with these vocals, the ad libs were originally in the center, but the main vocals were panned. And so when I repanned it, the main vocals were centered and the ad libs were panned to the right.
I don't even know how that happened because the Yeti was on stereo mode. I don't know.
Yo, I don't know, man. And that happened, and it flowed. The verse, the way I did it, flowed differently than the one on the Flex Gang album. The Flex Gang album one is like not even close to on beat.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that.
It's strange, but Air Jordans 3, I fought to get it on there, and it got on there. It was a anti-Trump 2019 verse that you wrote.
Well, actually, I meant anti-drug verse because I.
Oh, I thought you said anti-Trump.
Oh no, I said anti-drugs because I was like.
Oh, I thought you said anti-Trump. That's why I said that you kicked me from the server because I said crooked Hillary for prison.
Because I don't think I knew it was arm race lyrics or something. I don't know, but literally like, let me think. So it starts off with like, I was doing like anti-cocaine bars or something. Like it has nothing to do with Air Jordans.
Yeah.
Because it was something I found in because for a lot of features, like I would look at my Google Docs for like older verses because like they would usually work with any beat if I flowed right. So I just used some verse from like that was supposed to be on like Trap Hell 2 or something.
Yeah. Also, I remember there are two deleted verses from Air Jordans 3. They were Legoland's verse where he acts as if there is no beat,
Oh yeah.
and then yeah, he completely disregards the beat's existence, and
Yeah.
a very long Voda Wake verse where you can hear like jazz music in the background.
Oh my god.
And it was like he just recorded on his laptop, and it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculously long. But it
Oh
was
my
also a
god.
ridiculous verse, and I was sad to see it go.
Yeah, it would have been
It was
interesting to
like
have it on.
50 bars long.
Oh my god, that's like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was like a minute. It was like I think almost 2 minutes of Vote Away.
Oh my god.
And also, on this, before we move on to the next song you did, he
Yeah.
does have a line on there where he says, "I'm with Big Lil on the song."
Oh, that's how you know it was recorded a long time ago.
Yeah. It reminds me of a Moonquake Wild West where there are lines on there from like MCIC where it's like, "Yeah, BDR gang, fuck flex."
Oh my god. That's when you know it was recorded way back.
Hell yeah. Yeah, BDR gang, fuck flex.
Oh.
Yeah, what's your next
Well, obviously I have my solo song, Magic, with Young
Magic.
Seagull.
That one was hard to get on the album also.
Yeah. See, well, the production, it wasn't that much. It was like a codex, like, I think an organ, a draw organ, but it was like, had an effect on it, I think, and then like just drums, and that was pretty much it. But there was this glitch in like it was this glitch in the pattern where like one of the synth, I don't know if you can hear it, but one of the synth notes went like they slid or like they just went really deep. That wasn't actually me putting it deep. It was just like some glitch, but I kept it in because it kind of sounded like it kind of sounded good. So like yeah, and then that was pretty much Magic was like I was trying to do like melodic stuff again, so that's why like I made it short enough so that it was originally, Magic was originally going to have Seagull and Wild West, but Wild West never really like got back to me about his verse, so I just had it me and Seagull in the end. But, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Wild West, I don't okay, I've seen like it kind of go both ways with like not delivering verses.
Yeah.
There was some controversy around his performance on the Chillin' and Vibin' remix by J Coin Drive, which was originally supposed to be on the Chillin' and Vibin' EP instead of the original song.
Oh, damn.
It had Young Garfield and it had Wild West, but like J Coin said, Wild West's verse was really bad quality with a lot of reverb or something, so he asked for it to do it again, but he sounded angry on the verse.
Oh, damn.
so he just left it off. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And he ended up just kind of putting the original one on, but like, yeah, I don't know. And then more recently, the opposite happened where I for Wild West's new Intergalactic album, I think I got my feature to him like on the day that he was submitted it to stores.
Yeah,
it was like the last feature to get to him. And I recorded it kind of late in the day. It was like 8 p.m. or something. He was really cutting it close with his intended distribution deadline.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm Wild West on that beat. Would have been interesting to see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if he would have topped his Yeezys on My Feet 5 verse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you have yet to top yours either.
The Yeezys on My Feet 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that verse
that
was.
Whole song could be its own like discussion.
Yeah, that song was something.
Yeah. And yeah.
I could talk about the songs that I made that I didn't even submit, but where I was gonna put on there.
I was about to ask. Could you please explain the thought process behind "Hate the Way"?
All right, so "Hate the Way."
Very controversial song.
Yeah. So I thought I should do a song that has both like D&B-ish drums and trap drums, and it should sample Ariana Grande "The Way" because I don't know.
You hate the way.
Yeah, so instead of because in the song it's like I like the way or whatever, I just put hate the way.
Yeah. Wait. What do you mean? Okay, so first of all, what do you mean by D&B-ish drums?
Like, like stuff that would be in like. I used the Cymatics kit, and it was like.
Yeah.
It was
I
well, it
don't
was
know what
more so a house
D&B
kit. It
is.
was actually the house
Oh,
kit I
okay.
got in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more so house drums, but
Yeah.
it was this.
I think I used house drums when I produced Beetlebat's upcoming tropical house track.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to use those drums, bro. We'll see. Yeah. Keep on and talking about Hate the Way.
All right, so Hate the Way. So it started off with those drums, but I thought making the verses like trappish, so I put
Yeah.
trap drums, and also I wrote an entire. Then after I was done the beat, I just wrote an entire song, put on the auto tune access that I always use, and I just sang the
Auto tune
lyrics.
access. I used you kind of put me on auto tune access. I used it a fair amount. I used EFX more for my upcoming album, but I
Yeah,
did use access for amount of times. I usually used it for like backing vocals
yeah,
because like it's way lighter of a plugin. You can use a number of those and
yeah,
FL doesn't split at all. But you try to use like I think EFX is the biggest one. So if I
yeah,
tried to use even two, then it would just get really laggy and slow
yeah.
and have a really low response time, or it would just crash altogether.
Yeah. Also, I'm actually glad, even though like I originally wanted Hate the Way over Magic, I'm glad that Magic made it because it's all. Not only is a collab, which I know a lot more songs were preferred that would have collabs, but it also I think it fits more on Volume 3 than like Hate the Way. Like it's like
Yeah.
Hate the Way was good for like Flex Fridays, but I don't know if it would be good on the track list.
You never expected it to don the cover of Lil Prez at the Insurrection,
No.
but lo and behold, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
And my other scrap songs was this one. It was a song that I forget who I wanted to feature, but it sampled like this like synth. I wouldn't say it's synth pop. It's like synth R&B song. It was Harrison Better, and I just like made it key change a lot or like pitch change a lot, and I had like trap drums.
Oh yeah. All right. I don't know what any of that meant, but okay.
Oh,
I don't know. I kind of zoned out there. Um, I don't know. I could just rewatch this part to figure out
yeah.
what you said. Also, I never listened to that interlude that you did.
The Apple
What did you
interlude.
think of that? Yeah. What was that?
So basically, it was a song that Lil Krug said that he wanted me to be on. So basically, it was a song about I was talking about how good iPhones were in the worst way
Yeah.
possible, and then Lil Krug was talking about how he hates iPhones in the worst way possible in his verse.
All right. I think
Yeah.
it was originally supposed to be the one interlude on the album,
Yeah.
but we took off those interludes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Shit go crazy, you know what I mean?
we at least got a definitive collection.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got no other work on this album.
Mm-hmm. Well, except Deja Vu remix, but that was like unsubmitted really early.
Yeah. Should go crazy. Yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say about this one, about this album. We kind of just got through it. You know, the 2.5 didn't work out.
Yeah.
We started this, and the rest was history. Now it's most people's favorite, and I think it turned out very nicely. And I will say the last thing I want to talk about is my disappointment in the whole the whole Anthony Fantano situation.
Oh, where we
Um,
got to
I
listen to
would,
it.
I feel like half the people were spamming to like listen to it because they thought it was funny, and the other half, maybe more than half, just wanted clout, and they were being like, "Yes, if he reacts to it, I will finally feel like I did something good in this world." I felt like there was some people were doing it for validation. I don't know. I'm just saying, thanks to that, Ivan will only ever be known in his entire music career for Big Baller B Stole My Girlfriend, featuring Big Baller B. And Also, one more thing I will say about that song: the hidden WT feature was actually not supposed to be hidden. Mosquito just forgot he was on the song.
Oh, I was like,
and I didn't listen to it beforehand. So I might have heard it only like a little bit. So I just rode with it in the YouTube description.
yeah,
I just wrote featuring Big Baller Beat because I know the Dep Gibbs part was Mosquito insisted that it should be a secret Dep Gibbs feature at the end.
yeah, yeah. And I think there was a hidden Ivan feature on a Tribute to the Best Rapper in the first verse as well.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I remember at the listening party, I was just playing through. I was just playing Pokemon during that part. I was playing Pokemon Platinum. I was catching the Drifloon at Valley Windworks,
Yeah,
and that song came on. Shit kind of terrified me. Shit kind of terrified me. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's about it.
yeah,
That's about it for deconstructing Flex Gang Volume 3. I feel like I'm not entirely sure which. We either talked a lot about it and gave the people a really good idea about it,
yeah.
or we barely said anything and just rambled for like an hour. I don't know. Could have gone either way, but I think we did a good job. It's a good album, good breakdown of it.
Yeah.
And I gotta plug the album one more time. In development, dropping March 26th.
Yeah.
Please listen to it. And that's it. Just been your boy Lil Squeaky and CRZFawkz.
Hey.
And that's Flex Gang Volume 3. Deconstructed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gang, stay flexing.
Hey.
I'm out of here.